The one who loves you is about to shock you with a powerful surprise. My beloved child, something has shifted quietly behind the scenes, and the one who loves you may be preparing a surprise far more meaningful than you imagine. This is not about an ordinary conversation or a simple gesture. They have been thinking carefully about something connected to you, holding it close until the right moment arrives. And here is what makes this so powerful. You may have noticed nothing at all. Their silence has not necessarily meant distance. Their quiet moments may have been filled with thoughts they were not ready to reveal. Don't skip, because the smallest detail could completely change how you understand what is coming. There is something they've wanted you to know for longer than you realize, and when it finally comes forward, you may look back at recent moments and suddenly understand why they behaved differently. Something huge is waiting for you, and the surprise is only the beginning. But there is another layer to this that makes everything even more unexpected. The one who loves you has apparently reached an emotional realization they can no longer ignore. What they feel for you is deeper than something temporary. They have imagined what it would feel like to stop hiding behind uncertainty and finally show you through their actions how important you have become. Stay till the end, because what they are preparing is connected to a choice they once thought they would never be brave enough to make. They have replayed conversations, remembered little things you probably forgot, and quietly noticed the way your presence changed something inside them. And now, instead of simply thinking about you, they may be ready to turn those feelings into a moment you will remember. Don't skip. The biggest revelation has not arrived yet, because this surprise is not really about what they will give you. It is about what they are finally ready to admit. And this is where everything begins to change. The powerful surprise may be their way of revealing that while you were wondering where you stood, they were privately becoming more certain about you. They may have been waiting for the perfect moment because they wanted their next move to feel genuine, unforgettable, and completely different from anything they had done before. Something huge is waiting for you. Imagine expecting another ordinary day, only to discover that someone has been quietly preparing words you never thought you would hear. Imagine realizing that the person you thought was uncertain had actually been making an important decision in their heart. Stay till the end, because there is still one question they have been carrying, and the answer could change the entire direction of this story. The surprise is getting closer, but before it is revealed, you need to understand what happened inside their heart that made them finally decide, I cannot keep this feeling hidden anymore. Something happened in their heart that they never expected, and from that moment, the entire way they looked at you began to change. They suddenly realized that you were not simply someone they enjoyed thinking about. You had become the person whose presence brought a different kind of peace into their world. They remembered your words, your kindness, the moments when you stayed genuine without trying to impress anyone, and one realization kept returning. This person means more to me than I have ever admitted. Don't skip, because this is exactly where the surprise begins taking shape. Instead of immediately telling you everything, they decided to wait. They wanted their next move to speak louder than ordinary words. And while you may have been wondering why things seemed unusually quiet, they were imagining the exact moment when they could finally show you what had been growing inside them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and one detail about their plan could completely change what you think is about to happen. Here is what makes this even more surprising. They almost revealed everything earlier. There was a moment when they wanted to reach out, say exactly what they felt, and finally remove every unanswered question between you. But they stopped themselves, not because their feelings disappeared, but because they wanted the moment to be unforgettable. They started thinking beyond a simple message. They wanted you to feel the sincerity behind what they were about to reveal. And somewhere during that process, an even bigger idea entered their mind. Don't skip. What began as a small gesture slowly became something much more meaningful. They started imagining your reaction, wondering whether you would smile, whether you would be speechless, and whether you would finally understand why they had been acting differently. Something huge is waiting for you. Because the surprise they are considering carries a hidden message. They want you to know that you were never as easy for them to forget as you may have believed, and now comes the part they have been keeping closest to their heart. Their surprise is connected to a decision about what happens next between you. They no longer want endless uncertainty to define this connection. They want clarity. They want a moment where the truth can finally stand in the open, without guessing and without hiding behind silence. Stay till the end, because the most powerful part has still not been revealed. They have been rehearsing certain words privately, but every time they imagine looking at you and saying them, emotion takes over. Those words are not complicated, yet they could completely transform the meaning of everything that happened before. Don't skip, because what they are preparing to say may explain every strange silence, every unexpected change, and every moment when you wondered whether you still mattered. And when those words finally come out, you may realize the surprise was never designed simply to impress you. It was designed to reveal exactly where they hope this connection goes next. The next piece of this story is something you would never expect, because the one who loves you has already imagined the moment when everything finally becomes clear. In their mind, they have seen your expression change as you realize that their quietness was hiding something beautiful. They have imagined standing before you with no confusion left between you, finally letting their actions reveal what ordinary words could never fully explain. Don't skip, because there is one detail they have kept completely hidden, and it is the detail that gives this surprise its real meaning. They are not preparing this moment because they suddenly remembered you. You have been on their mind far more consistently than you realize. Certain memories keep returning, the way you spoke, the way you made them feel understood, the little things about you that nobody else seemed to notice. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Somewhere along the way, they realized that what they were searching for emotionally may have been standing much closer than they thought. But here is the twist. The surprise itself is only half of what they want to reveal. Behind it is a confession they have been struggling to put into words. They want you to understand that their feelings did not disappear during the quiet moments. Those feelings became clearer. Every time they tried to convince themselves to remain casual, another memory of you appeared. Every time they wondered whether they should stay silent, something reminded them why this connection felt different. Don't skip. They have reached the point where pretending that you are ordinary to them no longer feels possible. And now they are thinking about doing something completely unexpected, something that could finally answer the question you may have carried for so long. Do I truly matter to this person? Something huge is waiting for you, because their answer may be far stronger than you imagined. And what happens next could become the moment everything before it suddenly makes sense. They have been preparing themselves to stop speaking through hints and finally become clear about what they want. Stay till the end, because there is still a revelation they have not shared with anyone the way they want to share it with you. The surprise may begin with something simple, something that makes you wonder why they suddenly seem different, but then the real message will appear. Don't skip, because they want to tell you that you changed the way they think about connection, loyalty, and the future. They are beginning to picture possibilities they once avoided imagining. And the most shocking part is that they may already know exactly what they want to ask you when the moment arrives. It is one question, quiet, sincere, and powerful enough to open an entirely new chapter. But before that question is revealed, there is something they need you to know about the moment they finally realized they could no longer keep you only in their thoughts. There was one quiet moment when everything inside them suddenly became undeniable. Nothing dramatic needed to happen. No grand announcement, no perfect setting, just one memory of you appearing at exactly the right time. They remembered how different they felt whenever you entered their thoughts, and suddenly the truth became impossible to avoid. Losing the possibility of something meaningful with you was not something they wanted to accept. Don't skip, because this realization is the reason their surprise has become so important. They are no longer thinking only about how to get your attention. They are thinking about how to make you understand what you genuinely mean to them. They have gone over the details again and again, wondering how to make the moment feel natural yet unforgettable. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What they are preparing may look simple at first, but behind it sits a truth they have been carrying silently, and once that truth comes forward, you may understand why their energy around you has felt so different. Now something even more unexpected is happening. They are beginning to imagine your future presence in moments that have not happened yet. Ordinary days, conversations, laughter, celebrations, quiet evenings, they keep picturing you there. That is when they understood this was no longer just about missing someone. It was about wanting someone to remain. Don't skip, because the surprise is connected directly to that realization. They want to create a moment that removes the uncertainty and replaces it with something honest. They may begin with words that sound simple, but there will be emotion underneath every sentence. Something huge is waiting for you, because they have been holding back one specific confession. There were moments when they almost convinced themselves to say nothing, yet every time they tried, the thought of never knowing what could happen between you pulled them back. And now their heart keeps giving them the same answer. They would rather reveal the truth than continue wondering forever. This is where the surprise becomes far more powerful than you expected. They are not simply planning to tell you that you matter. They want to show you that their intentions have changed. Stay till the end, because the next step they are considering could be the clearest sign you have received from them yet. Imagine hearing them finally admit that their silence was never emptiness. It was hesitation mixed with feelings they did not know how to express. Imagine discovering that while you were questioning the connection, they were privately deciding whether they were ready to make it something deeper. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you, and the question they've been preparing is getting closer. But there is one final truth behind it. Before they ask you anything, they want to look at you and make one thing unmistakably clear. You were not simply another chapter they could casually close. You became the reason they started wondering whether the story they truly wanted was still waiting to be written with you. What they're about to reveal begins with a truth they have been afraid to say out loud. You became important to them before they even realized it was happening. It happened quietly, through small memories, unexpected thoughts, and moments when your name seemed to appear in their mind for no reason at all. Then one day, they understood something that stopped them emotionally. They were no longer wondering whether they cared about you. They were wondering what would happen if they never told you how deeply they cared. Don't skip, because that realization changed their entire plan. The surprise became bigger, more personal, and far more meaningful. They began thinking about the words they would choose, the moment they would reveal everything, and the expression they hoped to see on your face. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason they have not rushed this moment, and when you discover it, their recent silence may suddenly make perfect sense. Then came another realization they were completely unprepared for. They imagined you moving forward without ever knowing what was inside their heart, and something about that possibility made them reconsider everything. They knew they could continue waiting for the perfect moment forever, but perfection was no longer what mattered. Honesty mattered. Don't skip, because this is where their surprise transformed from an idea into a decision. They want to tell you something that removes the guessing. They want you to know why certain memories of you never faded, and why even ordinary things sometimes reminded them of conversations you shared. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are preparing to reveal that you influence them in ways you may never have noticed. Your presence made them rethink what they truly value in a connection, and now they are approaching a moment where staying silent feels harder than finally speaking. And the next part could be the most unexpected yet. Stay till the end, because they may not begin their surprise with the confession you expect. They could start by reminding you of a tiny moment between you, something you assumed they had forgotten. Then they will reveal why that moment stayed with them. Don't skip. That memory became one of the reasons they started seeing you differently, and it eventually led them toward the question they've been quietly preparing. Something huge is waiting for you, because this question is not about yesterday. It is about what could happen from this moment forward. They want to know whether the connection they have been protecting inside their heart could finally become something both of you openly understand, and when they finally look at you and begin speaking, you may realize that the powerful surprise was never one single gesture. The real surprise is discovering how long they have been hoping for the courage to tell you what comes next. A completely unexpected detail is about to surface, because the memory they have been holding onto was something you probably considered ordinary. Maybe it was a sentence you said without thinking twice, a moment when you listened patiently, or simply the way you treated them when you had nothing to gain. They remembered it. And somehow, that tiny moment became bigger with time. Don't skip, because they have replayed it more than once, and every time they did, the same realization returned. There was something genuinely different about you. They began comparing that feeling with everything they had experienced before, and suddenly they understood why you remained in their thoughts. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The surprise they are preparing is connected to this exact memory, and they want to tell you something you never knew. That one small thing you did may have completely changed the way they saw your connection. But what happened afterward surprised even them. Instead of those feelings fading, they became clearer. They started noticing how naturally their thoughts returned to you whenever something meaningful happened. When they experienced a good moment, they wondered what you would say about it. When they imagined something exciting ahead, somehow you appeared in that picture too. Don't skip, because this is where they stopped asking themselves whether their feelings were temporary. Their heart had already given them an answer. Something huge is waiting for you, and now they are preparing to turn that answer into action. They do not want their surprise to feel empty or dramatic just for the sake of attention. They wanted to carry a message you can understand immediately. You mattered even when I didn't know how to show it. And once they say that, another revelation is waiting behind it, one that could explain why they waited so long. Stay till the end, because their hesitation was never simply about uncertainty toward you. They were questioning whether they were ready to become completely honest about what they wanted. And now something inside them has changed. They have realized that some opportunities become meaningful precisely because you cannot predict where they will lead. Don't skip. The question they have been preparing is closer than ever, but before asking it, they want to make a promise through their actions. No more confusing signals, no more leaving important feelings buried beneath silence. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are considering a step that would make their intentions impossible to misunderstand. And the most surprising detail? Someone close to them may have already noticed what is happening. That person saw the change in their expression whenever you came up, and what they said afterward pushed the one who loves you even closer to finally revealing everything. The person who noticed the change did not need a long explanation, they could see it immediately. Every time your name entered the conversation, something shifted in the one who loves you. Their expression softened, their attention became sharper, and even when they tried to act completely normal, the truth was showing through. Then came the sentence that changed everything. If this person means that much to you, why are you still hiding it? Don't skip, because those words stayed with them long after the conversation ended. Suddenly, all the excuses they had used to delay the moment started feeling smaller. They realized they had spent so much time protecting themselves from uncertainty that they might be missing the chance to create something meaningful. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. That conversation became the final push they needed, and from that point forward, the surprise stopped being something they were merely imagining. They started thinking seriously about making it real. What happened next was even more unexpected. Instead of asking others what they should do, they became unusually certain. They already knew what they wanted to tell you. They had simply been waiting for enough courage to say it clearly. Don't skip, because the words they are preparing carry far more meaning than a simple confession. They want to explain that there were moments when they appeared distant while privately thinking about how much this connection mattered. They want to tell you that certain things you said remained with them long after the conversations ended. Something huge is waiting for you, because they have finally understood that the strongest surprise is not something expensive or complicated. It is giving you an answer to a question you may have quietly carried for a long time. Did you ever truly matter to them? Their answer is becoming impossible to hide, and they want their next move to prove it. Now the moment is getting closer, and there is one detail that could leave you completely surprised. Stay till the end, because they have started imagining not only what they will say, but what happens immediately afterward. They are hoping this surprise opens a conversation neither of you has been able to have before, one where there are no hidden meanings and no unanswered questions. Don't skip. They want to look at you and finally explain why they waited, why they remembered, and why they could never completely push this connection aside. Something huge is waiting for you, because after that explanation comes the question they have been rehearsing privately. It is not complicated, but it carries everything they have been unable to express until now. And before they ask it, they are planning to reveal one last secret. There was a specific moment when they realized they did not simply want you in their memories, they wanted the possibility of you in their future. That specific moment arrived when they least expected it. They were thinking about the future, nothing extraordinary, just ordinary days, important milestones, laughter, conversations, and the people they wanted beside them when life became meaningful. Then, without forcing it, you appeared in that picture. That realization stopped them. They suddenly understood that you were no longer connected only to memories of the past. Somehow, their heart had started placing you inside possibilities that had not even happened yet. Don't skip, because this changed the entire meaning of their surprise. They were no longer preparing something simply to tell you how they felt yesterday. They wanted to reveal what they were beginning to hope for tomorrow. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have been quietly asking themselves one powerful question. What if the connection they were afraid to acknowledge could become the very connection they had been searching for? And then something even more surprising happened. They stopped trying to talk themselves out of it. Instead of searching for reasons why the timing might be imperfect, they started thinking about what could happen if they finally became honest. Don't skip. They imagined the relief of looking at you without hiding behind vague words. They imagined finally explaining that the quiet moments did not erase their feelings, they clarified them. Something huge is waiting for you, because the surprise they are preparing now carries a message beneath everything else. I finally know what you mean to me. They want you to understand that this realization was not created in a single dramatic second. It grew through countless little moments until denying it became harder than accepting it. Stay till the end, because they are about to connect all those moments to one decision that could completely shift the direction of this story. Here is where everything becomes more powerful. They have started preparing for the possibility that your reaction may surprise them too. They know they cannot control your answer, and, strangely, accepting that has given them more courage. Don't skip, because they have decided that telling you the truth matters more than protecting themselves from every unknown. They want to give you something rare: clarity. No guessing. No decoding silence. No wondering what certain moments meant. Something huge is waiting for you, because after revealing why you became part of their vision of the future, they are finally going to move toward the question they have kept hidden for so long. But there is one last thing they want to say before asking it, something simple enough to sound ordinary yet powerful enough to change everything. If I could choose one person to discover what comes next with, I already know who I would choose. Now the surprise is moving toward the moment they can no longer postpone. That sentence they have been carrying, about already knowing who they would choose, has changed the way they see everything between you. They have stopped thinking only about what could go wrong and started wondering what might become possible if both of you finally understood each other clearly. Don't skip, because there is something they have never told you. They have imagined this conversation more than once, and every version ends with the same truth. They want you to know that you were never just a passing thought. You became someone they remembered in quiet moments, someone whose words stayed with them, and someone they could picture beside them when life moved forward. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The powerful surprise is getting closer, and what makes it unforgettable is not the setting, it is the confession hidden inside it. Then comes the part that could catch you completely off guard. They may begin by mentioning something from the past that you assumed meant very little. A conversation. A shared laugh. A moment. When you showed them kindness without realizing how deeply it landed. Don't skip, because they are planning to connect that memory to everything they feel now. They want to tell you, that was the moment I started seeing you differently. And suddenly, pieces that once seemed unrelated may fit together. Something huge is waiting for you, because they are no longer interested in giving you another confusing hint. They want their intentions to be unmistakable. They want you to understand that the surprise was created around one purpose, to finally replace uncertainty with truth. And once they begin speaking, they may reveal something even they once struggled to accept. The more they tried to treat this connection as ordinary, the more extraordinary it became to them. But stay till the end, because the biggest moment is still ahead. They have reached the point where the question inside their heart is ready to become real. Don't skip. Before they ask it, they want you to know that they are not expecting perfection, promises, or an instant answer. They simply want one honest opportunity to discover what this connection could become when neither person is hiding behind uncertainty. Something huge is waiting for you, because the question they have rehearsed is finally almost here. Would you be willing to see where this could truly go with me? And yet, even that is not the final surprise. There is another detail they have kept hidden, a decision they quietly made before preparing this moment. That decision proves they were thinking far beyond one conversation, and when you hear what it is, you may finally understand just how seriously they have been considering you. The decision they made in silence is far more meaningful than you might expect, because it was not about creating one impressive moment and then returning to uncertainty. They decided that if they finally opened their heart to you, they wanted their actions afterward to match their words. They began thinking about consistency, honesty, and what it would mean to truly make space for someone important. Don't skip, because this is where their powerful surprise becomes something deeper. They do not simply want to say, "You matter to me." They want you to feel the difference through the way they communicate, the way they show up, and the way they stop leaving important things unsaid. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have realized that the strongest confession is not a perfect sentence. It is choosing to become clear where there was once uncertainty. And that is exactly what they are preparing to do. Then another thought entered their mind, and it changed the surprise again. They started wondering what you had been feeling during all those quiet moments. Had you questioned whether they remembered you? Had you assumed they had moved on emotionally? Had you ever looked back and wondered whether the connection meant the same thing to them? Don't skip, because they want to answer those questions before you even have to ask. Something huge is waiting for you, and their answer could be surprisingly simple. Yes, they remembered. Yes, certain moments stayed with them. And yes, they wondered about you more often than they ever admitted. But they also understand that feelings need more than beautiful words, which is why they are preparing to show you something different, an openness you may never have received from them before. Stay till the end, because once they begin explaining what changed inside them, the final part of their surprise will start making sense. And now, the hidden detail behind their decision is almost ready to come forward. Don't skip, because they have chosen something they once avoided completely. They are ready to stop running from the conversation that could define what happens next. They want to hear your truth too. They want to know what you felt, what confused you, what you hoped for, and whether there is still a possibility worth exploring together. Something huge is waiting for you, because this surprise is becoming a doorway rather than an ending. They are not arriving with every answer already written. They are arriving ready to finally ask the questions that matter. And there is one question beyond all the others that they have been saving for the perfect moment. It is more personal than anything they have rehearsed so far, because your answer could determine whether the future they quietly imagined remains only a dream, or becomes something both of you finally choose to discover. The question they've been saving is not something they decided overnight. It grew slowly from every memory they kept returning to and every future possibility where somehow you continued appearing. Now they are finally ready to ask what they once lacked the courage to even imagine saying aloud. Could we begin again with complete honesty and discover what we might become? Don't skip, because those words carry far more than a simple invitation. Behind them are all the moments they almost reached out, all the conversations they replayed privately, and all the times they wondered whether you still felt that invisible connection too. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are preparing to reveal that their biggest regret was not necessarily something they did. It was everything meaningful they left unsaid. And now they want to change that. But the most surprising part is what they hope happens after the question. They are not dreaming about some perfect movie-like answer. They are hoping for something more real, one honest conversation where neither of you has to pretend. Don't skip. They want to hear what was happening inside your heart during the silence. They want to understand whether you ever missed the connection, whether you questioned their feelings, and whether part of you still wondered what could happen if everything became clear. Something huge is waiting for you, because they have realized that the surprise cannot only be about revealing themselves, it must also create space for your truth. That is why they have been thinking so carefully about the moment. They want you to feel heard, respected, and free to answer honestly. And there is one thing they especially want you to understand. Whatever happens next, the feelings they are revealing are genuine. Now comes the revelation that could completely change the meaning of their recent behavior. Stay till the end, because while they appeared quiet, they were actually making one more private decision. They decided that if an opportunity to speak honestly with you appeared, they would stop letting hesitation steal the moment. Don't skip, because that opportunity may arrive sooner than you expect. Something huge is waiting for you. The powerful surprise has moved beyond imagination. Emotionally, they have already chosen what they want to say. They want to tell you why you stayed in their thoughts, why the smallest memories became impossible to forget, and why they finally stopped treating this connection like something they could simply ignore. But before the surprise reaches its biggest revelation, there is one final piece missing: the unexpected reason they believe the timing has suddenly become right. And once that reason comes forward, everything they have been preparing may finally make perfect sense. The reason the timing suddenly feels right has nothing to do with a perfect date or some carefully planned coincidence. Something inside them simply became clear. Waiting longer would not make their feelings easier to explain. It would only create more unanswered questions. That realization changed everything. They understood that meaningful connections are not built by endlessly waiting for certainty. Sometimes they begin when someone finally chooses honesty. Don't skip, because this is the moment their hesitation started disappearing. They looked back at everything they had kept inside and realized they already knew the truth. They cared, they remembered, and they wanted to know whether this connection still had somewhere beautiful to go. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The surprise is no longer about finding a flawless moment. It is about creating a sincere one, and they are becoming more ready than ever to do exactly that. Then something small gave them an unexpected burst of confidence. Maybe it was remembering your smile, recalling something encouraging you once said, or simply realizing that you had always made honesty feel safer than they expected. Suddenly, instead of imagining everything that could become awkward, they started imagining the relief of finally having nothing important left hidden. Don't skip. This shift matters because it changed the energy behind their surprise completely. They are not preparing it from uncertainty anymore. They are preparing it from clarity. Something huge is waiting for you, because they want to reveal something they have never expressed this openly before. You influence their heart without ever needing to force your way into it. Your impact happened naturally, little by little, until one day they realized they could no longer picture this story without wondering what role you might still play in it, and now the biggest revelation is approaching. Stay till the end, because everything they have been preparing leads toward one unforgettable moment of truth. They want to stand before you emotionally unguarded and say what they should have said much earlier. I kept thinking there would always be more time, but I don't want silence to speak for me anymore. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you immediately after those words. They are ready to tell you that their powerful surprise was created around one simple intention: to make sure you finally understand how deeply your presence affected them. And just when you think you have heard the entire confession, they may reveal one final piece that changes everything. There is something they have already prepared specifically for you, something connected to a memory only the two of you would fully understand. And when you discover what that surprise represents, you may finally see exactly why they refuse to let this connection remain unfinished. The hidden meaning behind what they prepared for you is where this story takes its most unexpected turn. They chose something connected to a memory that may seem tiny to everyone else, but carries enormous meaning for them. Perhaps it reminds them of the first conversation that stayed in their mind, a phrase you once said, or a moment when they suddenly felt completely comfortable around you. Don't skip, because the surprise is not valuable because of what it is powerful because of what it represents. They want you to look at it and instantly realize, you remembered that? And the answer inside their heart is yes. They remembered far more than you knew. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. That small memory became a symbol of the exact moment they started understanding that you were becoming someone they could not simply place among ordinary connections. But they are preparing one more revelation after showing you what they remembered. Don't skip, because this is the confession they have struggled with the longest. They want to admit that there were times when they intentionally stayed quiet because their feelings were becoming stronger than they expected. They thought distance might make everything simpler, yet the opposite happened. The silence gave them time to understand exactly what they were trying to ignore. Something huge is waiting for you, because they finally recognize the difference between simply missing someone's attention and genuinely missing who that person is. With you, it was never only about attention. They missed your energy, your way of speaking, the little things that made you uniquely yourself. And once they understood that, their entire plan changed. The surprise became their way of saying, without hiding anymore, I noticed your absence because your presence truly mattered. Now the final layer of their plan is beginning to reveal itself. Stay till the end, because they do not want this moment to finish with you simply receiving a surprise and walking away wondering what it meant. They want to explain everything. Don't skip. They want to tell you why that particular memory remained important, why they waited, and why they finally decided that silence had lasted long enough. Something huge is waiting for you, because after explaining it all, they are preparing to ask for something remarkably simple, one genuine chance to create a new memory together. Not to erase what happened before, but to discover whether something stronger can begin from complete honesty. And there is one sentence they have been saving until the very end of that conversation, a sentence they hope you will remember long afterward. The surprise was never meant to prove how much I could give you, it was meant to show you how much I remembered you. But even after saying that, one final revelation remains, what they secretly hope your next chapter together could become. What they secretly hope comes next is far bigger than one emotional conversation. In their heart, they are imagining a completely different beginning, one where neither of you has to wonder what the other person means, where silence no longer creates confusion, and where every meaningful step is built on honesty. Don't skip, because this is where their powerful surprise reveals its true purpose. They are not trying to recreate the past exactly as it was. They want to take everything they learned from it and build something better from this moment forward. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They have imagined talking with you without holding back, laughing together without wondering what tomorrow means, and slowly discovering whether the connection they protected privately can finally become something both of you openly value. And the most surprising part is that they are not searching for a perfect story anymore. They are hoping for something genuine, something that grows because both people choose it. Yet there is another truth they have not fully revealed. For a long time, they believed that admitting how much you mattered would make them feel uncertain. Instead, accepting it has brought them clarity. Don't skip, because that clarity is exactly why their next move may feel so different from everything before. They are ready to stop hiding behind carefully chosen hints. They want to look at you and say what they mean. Something huge is waiting for you, because the sentence they have been carrying is becoming impossible to hold back. I don't know every detail of what comes next, but I know I would regret never discovering it with you. Stay till the end, because